How special is that to see from your ace all year long?
Well, I've been the part of a couple of no-hitters in my time, and actually one of the pitchers won 29-0 and threw a no-hitter. But I've never seen a more special performance than that. That was unbelievable.
What does this performance by Peterson say about his characteristic on the mound and as a teammate?
Well, I think he was a little disappointed that he wasn't as good as he's been all year last week. And knowing David the way I know him, I think he felt like he might have let the team down because he's really filled up that Friday night or first game of the series role this year and put an exclamation point on a bounce back effort. And that's as good as I think there probably is in the whole country. 20 strikeouts and 1 walk and 4 hits. Pretty special.
You ever had 20 strikeout guy before that you can recall?
No. To be honest with you, Steve, I don't know. I don't know the total of the most strikeouts I've ever been a part of on one of my teams. A couple no-hitters for sure, and some high strikeout performances, including earlier in the year with Petey. But even back to my Cal State Fullerton days, I can't remember any extremely high strikeout total like
20
that.
tied the major league record.
Yeah. I mean, it's hard to fathom anybody doing it any better. And it was a little tough because the game was on the line, his pitch count was up, and I think Coach Dietrich made the right decision. That's always a tough one if you cough it up and you got a closer like Jovan there. And I think that was probably his last hitter, to be honest with you. And he let David asked him if he wanted to finish. Of course, a little bit tongue-in-cheek. You're always going to get that. But I was glad that he was able to get that final out and not have to get any help and finish a spectacular performance.
You need to check with him before going out there for the ninth. You need to make sure you feel pretty good. His pitch count wasn't real high. I mean, you felt all right sending him out there for the last?
Yeah, he felt good. And, I asked Coach D, what's your plan? You got a potential All-American guy like Jovan in a save situation. And I think he was at 113, if I'm not mistaken, going into that inning. And I don't think he was quite as crisp, which makes sense in that inning. And the leadoff double certainly didn't help. So the objective is to win the game and not set personal goals. So, but he is our horse, and like I said, strategically it was a little bit tougher decision than it might have looked, because you got such a good back into the bullpen guy and you want to win the game. So the real shame would have been he pitches that well, and they end up tying the game and we get no decision from him. So it wasn't as easy as it looked. Let's put it that way.
When you say it's as good as you've seen, what stuck out? I mean, and the numbers, what you saw from him, just what makes it that good of a performance to you?
Well, he's hard to square up. His fastball moves all over the place, and he had both breaking balls working. I think he didn't throw any changeups, and so he kind of put a 4th pitch in the pocket and never used it. And that just says how good the 3 pitches were. That he was in the zone when he wanted to be, and out of the zone when he wanted to be, and that's what it looks like when Kershaw or Baumgartner, when he's not hurt. That's what it looks like. Those guys do as well, and that's big league stuff. And there was some professional juice here to come see him play. So good for David. Nobody deserves it more than him.
I asked him, how much have you seen him grow since he's been a freshman?
Well, I think he's getting results. He's invested a lot of. David came here as a very mature young man. His mother did a nice job of raising him, and stepdad, and he was mature beyond his years when we first got him. He had little nicks and little ingrown toenails and different things, and sometimes the maturity has been for him to handle his competitive nature and not. He's always been a bulldog. He's always wanted to stay in. He's always wanted to make that pitch when there's guys on base, and sometimes that led him to lose his mechanics and not being able to do that. He had the will to do it, but not the skill and the mentality to do it. So the maturity this year, as Coach Dietrich and him, has been a good marriage, and I think the summer helped him when he pitched with America's finest pitchers on the team that I coached, and learned probably from them and from that experience, and Coach Snow and Coach Silva. And I think it's accumulation of a lot of knowledge and his maturity, but he's always been a mature human being. Now he's a mature pitcher, if that makes any sense.
I asked him too, can you get a lot more wisdom from the 3 pitching coaches that he's had? He's had Styles and whoever the freshman year was, and then Carricker, and now Dietrich, and then Snow in the summer. I mean, Does that help getting all those minds in there at once, mold a different pitcher?
Absolutely. You know, I wouldn't be standing in front of you if I wasn't around some brilliant baseball people. And David's smart enough to realize. In fact, I took him aside early in the going because he was hanging with some guys, and I misread it. I thought they were a little frivolous in some of their approaches and so forth. And I made it very clear to him that the summer experience was going to make him a better person from all the knowledge. And those 12 kids that we had pitching for us were the best from their particular colleges too. So you're not only learning from Coach Snow, who I think is one of the best in the industry. Coach Silva obviously pitched for me, and he's a great pitching coach and was a great pitcher. And then his teammates too. And Dave did a good job of being serious about every day learning from everybody that he was around, including in the past.
When you say hanging with some guys, what do you mean? You said,
well, the Kyle Wrights and the Alex Faedo
okay.
and Tyler Thomas. He improved his changeup because all those guys, Houck and all the guys that we had, they're power pitchers, so they're fastball, curveball guys where they were. And Coach Snow was a big changeup guy and really a master at coaching the changeup. So David's changeup got better, and just watching those guys pitch and carve people up gave him a better concept of, hey, I can do this too. And that's kind of what I told him. He belonged on that team. That wasn't a token thing just because he's a Duck that I was going to take him. He belonged on that team. So I just think it filled him up with confidence, and he's just been on a mission every day since he got here this year.
David, sorry. David said that he knew before the game even started that he was going to, click today. He felt strong. When do you, as a coach, kind of realize that this is something extra special going on and maybe not bother him?
Well, after the first inning, it was boom, 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 3 strikeouts, and he looked different. He looked more laser focused. Last week, I don't think he was an unconfident David Peterson, but I don't think he was at full strength and wasn't quite as didn't have that chip on his shoulder, so to speak. That good, in a good way. I'm not saying punch guys out or point to the dugout or show guys up. I'm just talking about a good balance in his competitive nature. He looked like he was spot on today right from the start.
You guys played pretty good defense today. Do you think that helped David throw out a start?
I think David helped the defense. How about that? When you strike out 20 at 27, you don't have to make many plays. So it's fun to play behind a guy like that that's pounding the strike zone. And basically it was him and Tim, were the real story.
Snapping a 5-game losing streak, does this relieve a little stress getting closer towards the end of the season, or?
Yeah, I got something really good going on in my life right now. I've got a daughter that's delivering my second grandson.
Congratulations.
Yeah, my 9th grandbaby, and right now she's well on her way to producing maybe a left-handed pitcher. That's what I just texted my wife. I said that Gunner, I think that's what they're going to name him, is probably going to be a left-handed pitcher and be able to strike out 20 someday.
Do you know the baby has been born yet, or she's in labor
No,
now?
she's in labor right now. They just put the epidural in. So anyway, if you guys are watching, good luck, Heather.
Hey, Mike Gunner, it's either pitcher or quarterback, right?
Yeah, her dad. His dad played in the NFL, so he's going to be a big man, and he'll probably go to UCLA like her dad did.
Well, if you can,
his dad did.
Persuade him to go to the Denver Broncos if he gets drafted.
Yeah, that's okay. They win.